You Houstonians, you Texans are not.
Where?
Not ready.
Wisconsin?
Yeah. So
There we go. That's what I
I called my buddy yesterday, and I was like, "Oh man, it's kind of chilly down here. It's 46." And he goes, "Sure." When I woke up this morning, it was 6 degrees.
6?
It was a high of 19 today. I said, "Well, at least you got into the double digits."
Well, I guess I shouldn't complain then.
Yeah. So he said, Jonathan. So here's what's gonna be weird. So when you and I talk, right, you'll start addressing me, but then you'll kind of turn slowly and you'll address the camera right there.
Oh, it's right there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's weird. So it's oddly strange in that even though you and I are having a conversation, you'll start going, okay, I'm not talking to you anymore, Sherman. I'm talking to these people. I'm talking to Karina in that camera, right? So it's a little bit of an odd
Hi, Karina. Can you see
scenario. Okay. So then what I've noticed is that posture matters here.
Yeah, I'm trying to like.
So normally you don't button up the top button, that's a total no-no. But when you sit down, you do, so that way it pulls together, else it just looks, it's too loose. It's like, what? I'm
Yeah.
open for fatness.
I didn't know that was a total no-no.
For dudes it is.
Oh.
Or women that wear a jacket.
Oh, interesting.
So, oh, and then he was saying that like a fist away, that's how close you want to get. So that way
Oh,
it picks
wow.
up. So even though you and I are really close, you'll probably notice I'm talking very loud to you right now.
Yeah.
And that's mainly because I want to get used to the habit of talking loudly.
Okay.
Mr. Sherman, I
Mr. Sherman.
I love it.
perfect. Perfect.
And then Devyn, did you give him a business card?
No.
Did you want him? So that way when it shows up, it'll have, when you start speaking, it'll have your name. Do you have a pen? Did you want to write down your name?
I gave him a business card.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
oh, Jonathan, she gave you one.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I'm just going to adjust this camera here. There we go, Devyn. You're looking awesome. You look great. I love these boots.
Thank you.
How fun.
Thank you.
You and Karina always look really sharp. No offense to anybody else. It's not that they're not sharp, okay? All right. So you excited?
I'm nervous. I don't
Why?
know what
Do you not know your story?
No, I'm just gonna kind of, you're the fluffer. I'm just gonna kind of go off you.
Okay. Yeah, I won't ask you any tough questions. Like, where's the economy of Houston going?
Oh,
Okay, Devyn.
don't ask me
Let's
that.
go there.
Don't ask me that.
All right. Jonathan, I'm ready whenever you are, my friend.
All right, I am almost ready.
Oh, yeah. I pull that back because I need to adjust my phone.
I just had materials ready in case you wanted to talk about materials.
I love it.
Basically, all we have going on is the Holiday Western Social.
Yeah, and you got my email, but we're going to do gift baskets?
Yeah.
Excited.
But if you want all 5 to be entered, all 5 of you guys to be comps, then I need 5 gift baskets.
No, I already paid for us to.
Oh, you did? Oh,
I
I
went
didn't.
online.
Oh, I didn't.
I went online and did it after I emailed you. I was like, let's just register right now and get these people in there.
Oh.
Ooh, look at you, special title and all.
Oh, look at that.
Ooh, it's so legit.
All right.
I think the phone number on the bottom is wrong.
Oh, it is?
I think it's 49.
Is it 4922, Jonathan?
Oh, I got you. Hold
Okay.
on.
Good eye. Look at that attention to detail. See, I would have totally missed that.
Well, yeah.
I basically know how to spell my name, and that's about it. I'm super excited. I'm running on a little bit of NOS already. So
You're pumped.
I'm ready to go. Woo. Hair is okay.
All right.
All right, so I'll start us off, Jonathan, and then we'll keep rolling.
Got it. Okay. Ready?
Okay.
I am.
So we'll start with the radio intro, and then it'll fade
Do
out.
we have a theme song?
Not yet. the show has it. The
Now media does.
Yeah, no, now media does, but not y'all yet.
Oh, okay.
So we'll start with the radio intro. It'll come up. to you, and then you can introduce yourself. I'll have the lower third on the bottom left.
Yeah.
And then you can once you introduce her, I'll switch to camera 2, and then or camera 2 right there.
Yep.
And I'll use her lower third as well. And
I
then
love it.
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I think you gotta.
There's someone out there? You want to check? Should I check?
Hold on.
I'm Tiffany.
Or Todd's coming first?
Oh yeah, you're right. I keep getting them switched up. Todd's coming first.
It's just the door was open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We gotta keep that door closed, or else like noise interference and such.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay, ready?
Okay, we're ready.
I guess. Oh my gosh.
Guess in the West, here we go. Episode 1. Don't worry, we can always. Well, I was gonna say we can re-record. We can't because we're going live. But in a sense, let's pretend that we can just re-edit it. Well, so the first question I'm gonna ask is, Devyn, I know you well, working through the Chamber of Commerce, the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. Why don't you introduce yourself to the audience? That's how it's gonna go.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, hair looks, it's on point. My lips are dry.
One quick thing. So you'll in between each commercial, how long is roughly going to be? So we'll have a length of time which is
Like 2 minutes, or a minute. A minute.
Oh no, I'm saying
Oh,
length
so
of time.
It'll be about 10 to 15 minutes. What we'll roll for.
Okay, and then commercial, and then okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
does that
Got
help?
it. Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay. Hold on, I need to adjust this because I'm too high. Come on, Sherm, get your head in the game. What you doing over here? It's amateur night over here. All right. So that's Nancy's daughter. Have you met Nancy?
Mm-mm. You mean son?
That's Nancy's son.
I was like, what?
Sure.
Get your head in the game. Come on, pull
Hello.
it together. Pull it together. I'm so glad I didn't tell anyone how they could view it at the office. So they're not watching it live.
That'd be awesome.
I'm sure Karina can figure it out.
Transmitiendo desde Houston, la ciudad espacial, estás escuchando Now Media Radio.
Good morning, everybody. Sherm here, Sales Director with Mutual Omaha. This is our inaugural episode of Guest in the West, which is really a joint venture between Now Media, which we're here in their beautiful studio, and of course the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. And we brought one of my favorite people, absolutely in the world, and from the Houston West Chamber of Commerce, Devyn. She's going to share with us a little bit of her story, what she's doing over there at the Chamber, and we're going to talk a little bit about, to give you guys a context of what we're going to be doing here on Guest in the West. So excited for you to be able to be listening to this or watching this. Really appreciate your attention. So Devyn, let's just first go to you. Introduce people, kind of who you are, and
Absolutely.
to the crew, to the group.
So my name is Devyn Wagner. I am with the Houston West Chamber of Commerce, so I do a lot of events and marketing within the chamber. We just had our annual massive Salute to Veterans event, and Veterans Day was this past Monday, so that was a wonderful event. We had Michael Thornton, who was our keynote speaker. Really, just with this holiday season, it's just jam-packed full of events, all for y'all, all for businesses, just to improve their quality. So that's basically what we have going on right now. Right now we have the Holiday Western Social, so that is on December 12th. It is Western themed at the ranch office, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay. So does that mean I need to be wearing boots and a cowboy hat in order to fit that theme?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely, cowboy hat and all.
Does a cowboy hat go with the suit? That's a good question.
Always.
You think so?
Yeah.
Think I could pull that off? I don't know. I don't know if I can pull it off. Sometimes hats have a tendency not to.
It might clash.
You know,
It might
yeah,
clash.
yeah. With the whole ambiance I'm going for here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk a little bit about this Guest in the West episode or show that we decided.
Oh yeah, our brainchild. I
Yes,
call
this
it.
this is the brainchild. So number one is I have a lot of wacky ideas. So number one, thank you for not like totally shooting it down.
Well, Sherman, see, this is what happened. I started at the chamber approximately like 7, maybe 8 months ago. And day one, since I started, I think one of my first events I ever went to at the chamber was Chamber Connections Lunch. And you're like, Devyn, I have this great idea. I want to start a podcast. I'm like, Sherman, this is my first week of work.
Let's get it going, right?
Yes. And he hasn't let up since. And so this is where we are now.
Yes. So I guess it proves to show that the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right?
Yes,
So
determination.
and pure like not taking any no's for an answer.
Yeah, and it helps, you know, when you have someone bribing you with energy drinks as well. So
Yeah, so if anyone knows or meets Devyn, if you bring a Bang energy drink, she will be your friend for life. So that's what I did this morning. Got her out here early. I said, don't worry, I'll bring you something. It's got some super creatine or something in it. I don't know what else is in that thing, right?
yeah, I'm not a fan of mornings, mostly due to traffic. So there was like a 3-car pileup on 59 this morning.
Okay. Hopefully not started by you.
No, not started by me.
As you drive, you leave like this wreckage of just destruction behind you.
Nope, not me. Not me.
So in regards to this brainchild, so what the whole idea here is that the Houston West Chamber of Commerce, one of their taglines is
In business for business.
thank you. And so because of that, I thought, what a great way to be able to just share the story of all these businesses and the business owners and the entrepreneurs and give a little bit of past, hey, what they do, how they build it, and then most importantly, what are they excited about? What are they working on right now today? And what's their future look like? And then finally, I wanted a testimonial of why they saw the value of joining the Houston West Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, I think it's a great resource for our members, and it's going to add a lot of benefit to them as well. A lot of members have kind of conflict getting out and getting seen and getting noticed. This is going to be a great resource and a great tool to just kind of help you get more noticed and more recognized within the chamber.
And one thing that I'll say to people that are a little bit reluctant because they're like, oh, I don't want to be in front of a show. Now, this show is a podcast as well as a show. So, however you're consuming this, it is also available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Overcast, a multitude of just different platforms. At the same time, Juan over here has relationships with the local radio, and he's constantly giving them different content of his creators here at the Now Media Studio. So
really
we're,
cool.
we're extremely appreciative. Number one, that the Houston West Chamber of Commerce has loaned you to this project, right?
Well, I'm appreciative of Now Media. Like, this is an awesome setup. I feel so official right now.
Yes. That, we got the microphones, we got the lighting. That's why I look tan. In reality, I am not this tan. I am a much lighter, paler Wisconsin white, as I like to call it. And then, so then, when people want to, they're a member of the chamber, or they want to become a member of the chamber, how would they get about getting on this show?
Well, really, if you are interested in joining the chamber, I encourage you to just see what we are all about. We have so many resources available, so many events catered to all types of businesses, small businesses, large businesses, entrepreneurial businesses, anyone. This podcast is just, if you're wanting to just talk more about your business, a testimonial to why you joined the chamber and new business ventures that you are currently on, it's for you. It's just a fun way to get out there. It's different.
Well, and so one of the things that we know with the whole transition of media and how we consume things is that we spend a lot of times on our phones, spend a lot of time on the internet, and then so here's a way that you can get that out there. I know at the same time Juan had mentioned that if people want access to the content, they're more than welcome to share it. Now Media is on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. They have their own website as well.
I believe he said this will also be on demand 24 hours after. So tomorrow it'll be on demand at nowmedia.com.
That's right. And so that's one of the things in regards to the brainchild. Of anyone that knows me well, I'm a big picture person. So the small details are not my gig. So I'm grateful for Devyn and making sure that all these all these questions got answered, right? Because you can't start something at the Houston West Chamber of Commerce and just let it roll. You have to, there's a process a little bit.
Yep.
Right?
As you surely know.
Yes, and so she took a lot of time. So number one, I wanted to thank you publicly on our
you're
first
welcome.
show. I'm glad you totally are open. So one of the things, I fly by the seat of my pants, and so Devyn and I didn't have anything scripted, and she's just like, oh yeah, if you want, I left a slot open, we can talk. And so I'm like, let's do it, let's sit down. And so number one, thank you for getting this thing to fruition, right?
Yeah, no, this is great. You know, social media is such a huge thing, and it's already taken over everything we do in life. So this is just a great way to really get out there more.
Yeah, and so that's one thing that I'll say to any business owners that's out there, entrepreneurs that are members of the Houston West Chamber of Commerce or want to be members of the Houston West Chamber of Commerce, and you want to sit in Devyn's chair. You are more than welcome to reach out to her via email. What's a good email address for people that are listening to the podcast?
events@hwcoc.org.
Okay, so events at
There it is.
If you're watching this in video, it just popped up. But if you're listening to this podcast, events with an S at hwcoc.org or .org. I think we're common. It's common enough to say
It's common.
what it is.
Yeah,
right?
it's a nonprofit. We're an
Okay.
organization.
Yeah, it's an organization. And so they can reach out to you to get to be a guest. We want to run this every Wednesday from 8 to 9 and have 3 guests on sharing their story and being able to let everybody know in the community on our online presence. And so the nice thing is that this is going to get shared by you, by Now Media, by myself, by any of the guests. They're welcome to share the content. And so it's a way that you don't have to, all you have to do is really just show up, answer 3 questions.
Show up and look good.
Yeah. And so I will say that. I know some people, Devyn, they get nervous, right? You look great.
Thank you.
She's got lovely boots on. For those of you that listen in podcasts, you cannot see these boots, but they are lovely. And so you don't have to be a model, right? You don't have to be like Devyn, who's obviously not hard to look at. You want to be yourself, though.
Yep.
And just share your story. And don't worry about how you look. Let's be honest, not every business owner that's out there is that good looking. Okay? We might think they're good looking now, but when we first met them, right? I think somebody sent me a before and after of like Jeff Bezos, and now he's like totally ripped. Guy looks awesome. But I think when he was in his young 20s, when he was starting out on Amazon, he was so dedicated on focus on job. That's what he was
Working out of his garage.
And he was a computer programmer, right? So he was soft, as if you know most computer programmers. Totally throwing all computer programmers out there under the bus, by the way. That they're soft. That's because they just type all day, right? They're concerned with carpal tunnel. They probably don't hit the gym.
No.
I'm totally making a total stereotype. If you're in IT though, feel free to come on the show and you can totally rebuttal my comments. So again, excited about this show, this podcast that we have for the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. Today on our first episode, excited to have these 2 people on. We have Todd from Payments Gallery that's going to be here, and then the other one is Tiffany.
Yep, Tiffany.
And I think she's talking about, well, I guess she'll share her story. She works for Arvo Realty Advisors, and at the same time, I know she does a little bit of consulting on the side. So maybe she'll talk a little bit about that today. And so that's really we're gonna take a break. I'm gonna talk about why Houston is a great place to live, work, and play. And that'll be a part of the segments going throughout the future. And then we'll bring on the 3 different guests. They'll share their story, what they're excited about, why they're a member of the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. Because I'll put it here, the Guests in the West program is about getting you exposure. And so one of the big phrases that a lot of people are familiar with is it's not so much what you know, it's who you know. But the next evolution of that, it's not so much who you know, it's about who knows you and what you do.
Yep.
So that's a crucial piece that is going to be able to help people.
That's straight from Carrie's mouth.
Yeah, I stole that from Carrie Warner, by the way, who is like, what's her role at the chamber?
She is a VP.
Okay, she's the VP at the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. And I literally stole it because I've been to so many orientations at this point for the Houston West Chamber of Commerce that I have that memorized. And it's so true.
Yeah,
Devyn.
it's very true.
It's very true, right?
It's very true.
So I look forward to all that's going to be coming on this. Thanks again to the chamber.
No problem.
Thank you
Thank
to
you
Now
for having me.
Media and providing the studio
Thank you.
space. We got Jonathan producing this, and so appreciate him waking up, getting here early, getting
Yep.
everything all set up for this. This is not a program that's done with ease. To be honest with you, I have the easiest job. I just show up and I just start talking to people. Devyn sets people up. She did all the details that has to go through this. Now Media is going to distribute this. They produce it. And so we're grateful for all the partnerships that we have here. So we're going to take a quick break. And thanks a lot, Devyn, for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Sherman.
Woo!
Did it stop?
He is jumping over to. There we go. Okay.
All right. That was
Great
fun.
job.
That was
Great
fun.
job.
High
You're a
five.
rock star.